Hello, viewers. My guest today on the program, Beyond the Spotlights, it's someone that is, he's very funny, but I think we should all sit back and let's find out if actually he's really funny. Your Excellency, sir, are you really funny?
How would I know that? There are people that are born to be funny or created to be funny. Those are comedians. Some are creative. I'm neither a comedian nor a court jester.
Right. I'm sure with that brief talk of his, you should know if he's actually funny or not. But to me, it's a very funny person.
How?
Behind the scene, there were some kind of dramas that, and before now, I already know he's funny. So let's just leave that aside. He's a funny man to me. So I will want to hear from you and also see, what do you think? Is he actually funny or not? And I'm sure a lot of you know the person we have today with us. And for those of you that really do not know him, he is no other person than His Excellency Chibuike Rotimi AMAECHI. He was one time the governor of Rivers State and also the Minister for Transportation in the past administration. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So I would want to begin with your growing up, your background, but we want you to talk to us, to tell us, because there are a lot of people, they are eager to really know much about you. And we want to know when you were growing up, how you grew up, your primary days, your secondary, your siblings, your family, your school, career, and so on.
That's writing in my. It's like writing an autobiography.
I'm sure you can agree with me when I say he's funny.
No, what's funny about that? About the question you just asked now? You want me to tell you about my primary school days, about my secondary school days, about the period I had to study in the university, and then what else? Then you took me.
Let us know a little about your family, your siblings, your parents,
the pictures of my
and your
children.
immediate family also.
The pictures of my children and my wife are all scattered in this very place. Primary school days was quite funny. I had the first primary education at Sacred Heart Primary School, Port Harcourt. Sacred Heart Primary School essentially I had two sessions, one in the afternoon, one in the morning. Again, I mentioned to everybody that I wasn't particularly from a rich background, so we had to attend the afternoon session to enable us to do something, work at home in the morning session. In the afternoon session, we go to school by walking not too far a distance, maybe say 3-4 kilometers, but you have to walk.
From your home?
Yes,
wow.
in Port Harcourt. But I don't know what convinced my father to take me to the village at primary 4 or 5 and registered me to do primary 6 at St. Teresa's Primary School, Lubima, which is my village. Okay. After that, I had admission to study at Eberioma, that's Government Secondary School, Eberioma. When the principal who started the school were the pioneer students.
Oh, okay.
When the principal who started the school was transferred to Government Secondary School, Okolobri, some of us that he thought were brilliant, he went with us to Government Secondary School, Okolobri. So I concluded my secondary education at Government Secondary School, Okolobri in Egua local government area, presently in Bayelsa, no longer River State. But there used to be the old River State. They were the areas we referred to then as either the Ijo areas or the riverine areas. They were essentially coastal in nature. So, but then concluded my education at Government Secondary School, Okolobri, my secondary education, and then got admission at the River State University of Science and Technology to study secretarial administration.
Wow.
I wasn't quite keen in studying secretarial administration, but fortunately for me, because I wrote 2 exams, JAMB, the second one came out, which is to study English at the University of Port Harcourt. But I tried traveling to some University of Meduguri. Is it Meduguri? No.
Maybe Uzara or something?
No, it must be. First, it was Soka, and then I think it's Makurdi. So it was the university in Makurdi or maybe one of them, where I was seeking for admission to study law.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't get the admission, so I ended up with the University of Port Harcourt to study a first degree in English studies. I had my first degree in English studies and then a master's degree in literature, in African literature. I joined politics after my first degree in English studies. It was while I was in politics that I had to study for a master's degree in literature, in African literature.
Oh, okay.
So by 1985 or 86, I think I must have graduated from having a master's degree in literature.
Then you already had, were you married then?
1985? I can't remember when I got married. I think it's 1992.
You think? Okay.
Yes, I think it's 1992. Yes, 1992. Immediately after, we were preparing for marriage when Abacha struck. So it's significant not to forget. I think it's paramount that I don't forget, because there was this event that while we had just, on the day the coup was announced, was it that day or the next day, we were heading to Anambra for the native law and custom. Some friends said, stop it, let's see what's going on. I said, no, I must conclude this. And it was 1 week apart from the white wedding.
Oh, okay.
So we went for the traditional wedding at Anambra, finished the traditional wedding, then came back to Port Harcourt, and then this next Saturday we had the white wedding. Typical of Nigerians, not too many people attended because there was a coup.
Yeah.
We then got officially married at the church.
That's a wonderful one. So could you please just tell us a little about Madame?
My wife, very industrious. She literally sustains the family.
Really?
Yeah, she's very hardworking. My wife is extremely hardworking, and she's pretty.
It's interesting. And from what you just said, I think she's actually from Anambra, from the end.
But she was brought up in Port Harcourt.
She was brought up in Port Harcourt.
Yeah, of course. Oh. She attended primary school Port Harcourt, Federal Government College at Buloma.
Is that where you met her?
Well, I met her in Port Harcourt, yes. Port Harcourt Primary School, Federal Government College at Buloma, University of Science and Technology, Port Harcourt. So
you both went to the same primary
school?
No.
Oh, okay. How old is she to go to the same primary school with me? My wife is literally, how old is she? She's in her 50s. I'm going to be 60 next year, so we can't.
Oh, wow.
We can't be. We don't have been in the same
primary school. You don't look it.
Why?
60.
Next year. I'm 59 now.
Ooh. That's interesting.
So she's, like I said, she's everything a man is looking for in a wife.
Oh, that's a good one. We need to celebrate that. So how many kids are you blessed with?
3 boys.
3 boys. Oh, wow. No female. Interesting.
We tried.
You tried. But it's all good. Could you tell us how about your parents? You still have
my mom is still alive. She lives with us in Abuja here. My dad died how many years ago? My dad died, I'm trying to remember now. My dad died 1996.
Oh, that was a long time ago. Do you got other siblings?
Or yeah,
just you alone?
I have siblings.
How many siblings do you have?
You know, there's this tradition that you don't count the number of children you have or siblings that you have.
Okay.
But I have quite a number of siblings. Male, female, my brothers and sisters, they're all doing one thing.
Okay, but I can ask, what position are you like in the family?
Maybe around the 5th or so.
You're not going to show?
Or 4th.
4th or 5th, okay, it's fine. And can you please tell us, before politics, before you dived into politics, what were you doing?
Don't forget that after I left university, the next thing I did was I joined politics. But while in politics, you worked as PRO to Dr. Odili's Pamo clinics and all that. But most importantly was that as soon as we left politics, as soon as we left university, what we got engaged
straight up to politics. So within your secondary school and your university days, no engagement, no site, not other thing you were doing?
How old was I? I left university at the age of 22, I think so. And I joined politics immediately.
At that age?
Of course.
22, 23? Is that what you're saying?
Of course. I was speaker at the age of 34.
Really? I'm sure a lot of my viewers they are not aware of this.
No, I won't be aware. I was aware. I was speaker at the age of 34. I was governor. When I was governor, I was the youngest governor in Nigeria then. That first tenure, my first tenure. I was governor at the age of 42.
Wow.
And I was minister at the age of 50. So you see. By 58, I had finished with most of the national appointments and state appointments I had.
All right, that's good to hear. And I know every man has a turning point. I would want you in your life. Where was that turning point? Can you just give us, a proper great details about, your turning point? What's that?
Well, at the point you became a governor, I became a speaker. It was quite challenging when we were growing up in the university because my father had to look for funds to train me in the university, and I was the only person that was trained in the university by my father. In fact, there was one day as governor, I called my siblings to a family meeting, and I said, "See, I'm struggling for everybody. I'm trying to break the chain of poverty and all that for everybody. Once I leave office, please don't come to me again." My immediate eldest turned to me, "Don't say that." I said, what do you mean by that? He said, all the money that Papa had, he used it to train you on our behalf.
Well, they said, "Oh, sorry about that."
So, but I told that I didn't stop anybody from going to university. My father didn't stop anybody from going to university. It was a matter of choice. I chose the education. The rest of my siblings didn't choose education. But again, what I now did was after graduation, a lot of my siblings after me, I made sure they were graduates.
Oh,
I didn't listen to anybody. I had to find. There's one that didn't graduate. He was in final year at the River State University of Science and Technology. I didn't quite do well. Oh. I sent him to London. One day he came back with a wife.
Like seriously? At least it's
but that's the only person.
It's still a success.
But he's back to school now. He's struggling to be a graduate.
Oh.
So if by God's grace, once he graduates, then we can then say that
everyone has passed through. They're all graduates. Yes. That's a good one. That's a huge one, and I must commend you for that. And I want to also ask, in your days, were you really that restless the way our youth these days in Nigeria are really restless?
I don't know what you mean by restlessness.
Okay, I'll explain further. Our youth these days, they are so eager to get to that point, to make money like real quick, like fast, without going to certain stages in life and trying to get to that point where they need to do things legitimately. I
don't do illegitimate things.
Okay, I'll rephrase.
And I'm not saying that's what I teach my children. Make sure that you are on the right side of the
law. Were you like eager to, because you said you were not coming from a very good
money wasn't everything.
Okay.
Name and fame by far will outpace money.
So what was your intention of getting or diving into politics at that point?
I've always said that poverty led me into politics. Poverty led me into politics. I needed to have a job. I went for an interview with NTA Port Harcourt. I went for an interview with TV Port Harcourt. And how did I get invited? I was looking for somebody in NTA. I knocked on the office of Fidelis Abiki. Then he was working with NTA. And what I just said, "Good afternoon, my name is, we have such a wonderful voice. Would you want to come for auditioning?" I said, "I'd be glad to come for auditioning." But I can't remember why I wasn't employed. I don't know whether I was employed in Arrest TV, but that's how it happened again. Again, I went to Arrest TV, somebody heard me speak, and the person was like, "Ooh, your voice is marvelous. Will you want me to be auditioned?" I got to audition with some other people, but I don't know. I think what must have happened was that while they were interviewing us, we were close to an election. So when we won the election, there was no way you want to go to Arrest TV. You want to be part of the election that you won.
Sorry if I can get you clearly. You were already
I wasn't in politics. Yes.
When
I just visited somebody. And then the guys who heard me speak wanted me to come for audition.
Yeah.
And because they said they liked the sound of my voice, but I don't know. I can't explain what happened. I think what really happened was that before ROTIMI could hire me, if they wanted to hire me, we had won the election in 1992. Chief Rufus Judge had emerged as governor, and I was his supporter. So it would not be fair to go and become a broadcaster when indeed you have an opportunity of seeing the governor, and we were given better appointments that
are better off than
the
okay, if you were not given that, like if you had not won that election and then you were given the role to be a broadcaster, would you have left politics?
No, I won't have left politics. Probably I would have combined the two.
You combined the two? Oh, really? Okay. And let's move on. You're a family man. How do you balance your family life with your...
That's what I told you about. I have a wonderful wife.
Of course, I know. It's there, but this is you.
Yeah, but
she is not doing it alone. It's both of you.
No.
To you, like, are you present? Is your presence?
I'm hardly present. I'm hardly present, but she always will call me when there's a need to play the role of a man. And I'll give you an example.
Okay.
She so much loves her children that sometimes they become recalcitrant. Yeah, and so they didn't like me until recently. They didn't like me. Why didn't they like me? I always want to assert the authority of a father. I'll give you an example. My first son, Chikamba, then he was in secondary school in the UK, and they had a party for him. Somehow my wife suspected that he must have taken alcohol in the party. Maybe 10, I don't know whether it's up to 11 or 12 years, but certainly not up to 15. And my wife scolded him. He ran away from the house. The only way they tried to bring him back to the house was they had to call. I was in Nigeria, my wife was in the UK. And I picked up the call. I don't joke with my family calls. Or any member of my family that calls me, if I don't pick it, I will certainly return the call. Especially by then, because they were all young. My wife was young.
Everyone was,
my children were. So I always want to pick the call to know whether there's anything that was wrong. So she called me and I picked it. Say, oh, Chikama has disappeared from the house. I said, you know the consequences. Once they arrest him on the road, then you will lose your son.
Yeah.
I said, can you locate him? They said they can't. And he didn't have a phone. I think somebody managed to give him a phone when they saw him. That dad wants to speak to you. He picked up, he took the phone, and he said, I said, Dad. I said, yes. Where are you? Dad, it's no more. I said, I didn't ask you what happened. I said, where are you? He said, very well. I said, know the consequence of being outside the house by this time of the day. That's one.
That same day?
That same night. It was night then. I said, he said, Mom said I took alcohol. I didn't take alcohol. It was my friends and all that. I said, I never asked you questions. I never asked you what you did. Now, quickly, 2 instructions. 1, go back to the house. The first instruction. Second instruction, go and kneel before your mother and apologize.
Regardless.
He did.
Wow.
So you see, if I was given those lovely, but
they won't listen to you either.
But there has to be that man that everybody was afraid of.
So which is really most African men, African parents.
I'm sure that's why.
Or fathers.
That's why nearly all my children don't take alcohol. The only one that I suspect takes alcohol is the 9th Mura. He doesn't take alcohol.
Of course, he will.
And they're all adults. They're all adults.
The
one that is 9 is my first son.
Respect. That's great. That's a great one.
I'll make you laugh. We went for his. He tried to get married. He's trying to get married. So we went to see the parents of the girl that he's about to get married to. So I went with a small team. My younger sister, my younger brother, 2 of his friends. And so we got there. They brought all sorts of drinks and alcohol. They say by tradition, somebody from our side must taste the alcohol. And nobody. So he did. I said, I thought he said don't have to.
But they said, I have to.
He said, I have to save the situation.
Oh my God.
I said, it must be all the lies will be lying about this alcohol now.
Oh wow.
And I told him, I said, I told him that I said the reason why I continue to accuse you that you don't take you take alcohol is that every person in the house, me, your mom, your siblings, all take fizzy drinks. You don't take. So what do you drink?
He doesn't like water. Of course, he's a man. He needs to once in a while. All right. Outside politics, what do you do with your time?
I read.
You read?
I read a lot.
Like, do you have favorite books? Like,
no.
Books
I have a first degree. While I was a minister, I had a first degree in law.
Okay.
So I have an
That's when you were a minister, yeah?
So I have an LLB degree in law, Bayes University.
Oh, Bayes University, here in Abuja.
While I was doing that, I also registered to have a first degree in law, University of London.
So what happened?
Well, I've concluded.
You concluded the one in London?
I'm waiting for a result of 3 more papers. If the result comes out in this August and I pass, then I'll have a first degree I'll have 2 first degrees in law, one Bayes, one University of London. What happened was that I failed 2 courses. I would have finished it. So I failed 2 courses. They asked me to repeat them. I've repeated them. They even added 1 more, so 3. And the result will come out in August. I hope I will pass. If I do pass, then I will then have a second first degree in law. I'll conclude my master's in law this July.
Okay.
I was doing that simultaneously.
That's what I wanted to ask.
Like simultaneously. So I'll conclude my master's degree in law this July, King's College, London. And while that was going on, at the same time with the first degree in law, University of London, I was doing law. I was at law school.
Bayes University.
No, law school.
Law school. Okay.
I finished Bayes University.
Abuari. Why do you choose to have first degree, second degree in law, and you're doing your master's also in law?
I was just trying to be. You see, if you're not active mentally, you will exhaust that how do you put it? That mental pressure on something else. I didn't want to get involved in Nigerian politics and start thinking about what they were doing and not to extricate myself from the reality of what was going wrong. I focused on something else. And what I chose to focus at that point in time was
law. Like
now I'm searching for where I can do a PhD in literature.
Oh, great! That's a huge one, and it's a good success. And we want to also ask: do you have a foundation of any sort, or charitable programs?
No, I do my charity myself.
How do you do it?
Okay, so the first one I will mention is we sent about 300 children to China.
We? Who?
And I'll tell you why I said we.
Okay.
Now, why I said we was, as Minister for Transport, the major contractor in Ministry of Transport was CCECC.
See what?
CCECC, okay. Chinese something construction company. And I felt these guys, they can't dump this technology on us. They must be able to teach us what they know about this technology so that we can do it ourselves. So I called them and said, look, I will never ask you for bribe, and don't give me. Even if I do, don't give me. I would want you to train Nigerians with your money.
Great one.
So when they agreed, we started looking for Nigerians all over now, qualified Nigerians from indigent families.
Okay.
So we chose from a minimum of 1% per state.
Okay.
Some got 2, some got 3, some got 4, some got 10. But at the end of the day, they all were shipped by God's grace.
In total, 300 persons.
Yes.
Okay.
To China. Most of them have come back, and I'm delighted when you called me. The
program was for how long?
4 or 5 years. They first degree in engineering, railway technology, railway engineering, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical, structural, all of them.
So presently, the 300
most of them are back.
They've all passed out. They've graduated.
Most of them are back. I hear
they're back to the country.
They are with their degrees.
Okay, what were your plans for them after graduation?
That they should be employed by two people. Most of them will be absorbed by NRC, Nigerian Railway Corporation, and the CCC will also absorb some of them.
That was your plan. Have they been able to achieve that now?
The ones that spoke to me from my village told me that they will go back and report to NRC for employment.
Oh wow, that's a good one. And
see the charity. I didn't have to put a foundation and all that. I'll give you an example. Again, a second example. When I was governor of Rivers State, I made sure that we had a minimum of 10 persons from each local government to be trained overseas. Over 1,000 to between 1,000 to 3,000 children were trained overseas.
Oh, really?
Of course. Medicine, engineering, we're all trained overseas. Some have come back, some are still there, and some were stopped by the governor who took over from me.
Oh.
And you won't believe that I didn't know any of them. Anyone that I know, I'll fund him from my pocket.
Oh.
So you won't see my sister or my brother, or
yeah,
my
to influence
anyone that is related to me, then I have to pay.
From your pocket.
Yes, but the rest, I got the government to pay for their fees, train them. Some came back as medical doctors, some engineers. The ones we sent later are the ones that the governor said, oh, they are AMAECHI's people, and brought them back.
Oh my
so you see how small-minded most of our people are.
Yeah.
Then
we were actually doing the great thing.
So that's what I call charity. That's what I call charity. Then the other part of charity I would also talk about is when you see people who are very, very ill to the point that if you don't help, they will die. You have to really look for the money
to help them. So how do you find those kind of people? How
do
you get to know about their situation?
I don't have to look for you. You will see the situation when it comes. But if you say you're looking for them, then people will just line up here.
No, what I mean, like, how do you get to find out or know about the situation? Most times you just open your phone, you see people asking you, presenting the situation. So you go and ask your doctor to verify. I have a personal doctor, so I say go and see him to verify. If he verifies that you actually have what it is and that we can't treat you here or anything that it takes, we'll look for the money. Oh, great.
By God's grace to keep you alive. But again, my fear is the moment you open up that everybody will start lining up here. It's like when we are giving rice, you know, until even last year we did, December. Between Easter and December, we give about 15,000 bags of rice.
Here in Abuja
yes.
or back home?
No, we give it at home, we give it here.
Oh.
Now, what happened last year, we couldn't raise the kind of money, but mostly I go about raising the money. We couldn't raise the kind of money, but
how do you raise the money? Like you say, you go
about
raising the money. Okay.
I call friends.
Okay.
I say I'm trying to feed people, so if I can, I'm trying to buy about 15,000 bags of rice. So some people buy and give you, some give you money to buy and all that. But by last year, when I won't call the names, there'll be opportunity when I will call names. By the time I call some names, they ran away. They didn't pick my calls again.
Oh my God.
And I'm not joking, these are prominent Nigerians who before, once I called, they will pick.
Could it be as a result of the
economic challenges?
Yes.
No matter how much these people are economically challenged, they have money, they can bring out 100 million.
So what could be responsible for that? Is it
because you're out of office?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're no longer in
before, because they did business with MPA. If I call them, they're yes sir. I'll send you 600 bags. I'll send you 1,000 bags, and you will see the 1,000 bags in front of your door. Then you say discharge it at Port Harcourt. Don't bring it here. Discharge it at and they do it. But as you left office, it's the only man you can remember that still maintain that is no. What's this guy's name? Say you that tata.
Say you that tata.
Say you that tata. The man who last December gave you 600 bags of rice. The rest were on the run.
Oh my days. All right. Now I can understand that you feed a lot of mouths, like you have people that you...
No, so what I'm making is, at that time, because of that thing we were doing, we also feed people here, this village. Oh. But I've stopped my wife. I didn't know my wife was doing it behind me.
Okay.
How did I know? During the, what do you call it, end SARS, they struck out our gate. I had to call the IG. So I asked what was going on. That's when my secretary told me that they thought those rights were given them, but that it was government rights and they were here. Oh. So they wanted to break in to take the right. Oh. I said, I told my wife first, you were giving that right, because at the end of the day, most of the times, we don't expend the 15,000 bags. Some remain. So behind me, she will give 100 to this village or 200 to these people.
Yeah.
So when NSAS came, come and see the crowd here, trying to break in. We had to call the IG to send reinforcement of police to protect us. So that's what we call charity.
True.
Nameless charity, not AMAECHI and AMAECHI Foundation.
Yeah, I'm sure, like, I'm not aware, I'm just hearing that for the first time. also some persons watching us now, they are not aware of all these things that you've done. You know, a lot of people might be looking at you like, oh, you know, these people, they just make this money and keep it to themselves.
I don't make money. I've said it to Nigeria that I don't make money. Just know that, you see, you have to come from a background that teaches you a lesson of the fact that if we are 100 million Nigerians, 90 million Nigerians are suffering.
Oh, yes.
90 million. I know that one of my friends will accuse me that the way we joke with data in Nigeria, we don't have sources of investigating data. We just mention it. Yeah. So let me join in mentioning this. My friend, if he watches it, he will say, "Amechi, I've told you." the way you portray out data. But whether the data is correct or not, I think minimum. Okay, if it's too bad, 80 million Nigerians are actually suffering.
I agree with you. Yeah.
In fact, I have a friend who is in government, or who was in government with us. He said, look, Amechi, there are not more than 15,000 Nigerians that are stealing this money. This money, they are stealing corruption. There are not more than 15,000 Nigerians. If we can put all these 15,000 Nigerians in jail, then maybe we'll find
that would be a lasting solution to our problem. All right. Thank you so much. You've really done well with this conversation so far. I also want to ask, if you were to, go back and you want to talk to a 20-year-old person now, from your story so far, what would be your advice to he or she in the journey of success and all of that? I'm also coming back to also know some of your failures, because in the journey of success, I'm sure there are some, in all this politics, business, whatever it is, you had at some point had some challenges, some failures. There's some areas you failed in life.
I don't know.
Okay, I mixed 2 points together.
I don't know the areas I succeeded. I can't remember the areas I succeeded.
Huh?
I can't.
You can't remember where you succeeded? Okay, which area do you think
I
area
failed.
of your life that you failed?
I failed in the pursuit for the presidential election. Reason, I believe in being honest and straightforward. So when people manipulate election results and all that, it drives me crazy. It's like one idiot was saying that he wrote results in local government election. The chairman of Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, at the time he was claiming to have written results, was Professor Denis Briggs. Professor Denis Briggs is a renowned elder statesman and will not accept that. Instead, he will resign. And coupled with the fact that in our government, if we are not transparent and honest, 40% of us in my government were, I don't want to say 100%, they will say how, but at least I can vouch that about 40% of us were honest and transparent. You know, what causes crime or corruption is whoever is in charge at the head. The moment they know that you abhor corruption, you don't want people to steal government money, the rest will queue up. But if they see that your hand is in the pie, they'll put their hands there. So, have you failed? Yes, I failed in my pursuit of my presidential ambition, right? Did I achieve all that I wanted to achieve as a governor? No. There are quite a lot. I have no regrets having to support President Buhari to get to power, but it consumed a lot of our time that we would have used to work. I'm not saying we didn't work. We built so many primary schools, so many secondary schools, we built so many health centers, we did roads, water, lights, quite a lot. But probably if there was no challenge at that point on who succeeds, on whether somebody will succeed good luck or good luck will succeed himself, probably would have had more time to do other things.
Such as?
We would have consolidated on education and ensured that whoever takes over from me would have been the person that would have continued from where we stopped. Now, the person who took over from me, only God can explain.
Okay, would you say your people are really happy with you within the period
You're from Edo, from the name I see, OBASEKI.
Of course, yes, I'm from Edo State.
Take a ride. Take a ride to Port Harcourt. Just jump into the aircraft, land in Port Harcourt, and engage a taxi driver. What if you see any abuse me, I'll give you 10,000 naira.
All right. That shows that you really did well. Like your people love you so much.
I'm just telling you that if you see any, then 10,000 naira.
So if you have another opportunity, what would you want to do to your people again?
No, I've passed that stage. I've completely passed the stage of governing River State. In fact, what is going on?
Like
what is
if
going
you had
on?
the opportunity to, to give back, to still
it
also.
won't happen again. So no need to ask rhetorical questions. I won't, because by the constitution, I will never go back to River State to be governor of River State.
No, you don't have to be a governor, sir.
Whatever it is that you need to do, first is you ask yourself how many people actually appreciate all that you've done. Yeah. Well, the other people do appreciate, but the people hanging around you and all that, only God will decide whether they show appreciation or not. Oh. Secondly, is the problem of sub-nationals. Even if you solve the problem of Nigeria through the sub-nationals, you cannot solve the problem of Nigeria. True. You must find the solution at the top. The moment that's why I decided to run for presidency. I'm not, what's there being a president? It's his fame, by God's grace, God has made me famous. True. If it's, I don't know what else you are looking for. But the only thing you're looking for is that if you don't have executive power to correct the ills in society, you may not be able to do anything. So basically, going back to River State, the answer is no.
Well, viewers, I'm sure I told you you're going to learn a lot from him today. I'm sure you've been enjoying the conversation so far, and you've got to know him much better than you knew him before. So sit back as the program continues shortly after this break. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, the program is Beyond the Spotlight, and I am your host, Queen OBASEKI. For those of you that is just joining us right now, the program, we've been with His Excellency Chibuike ROTIMI AMAECHI, the former Rivers State Governor and the Minister for Transportation at the past administration. All right, sir, you're welcome back to the program. We want to ask you, how do you relax in all this, your schooling, and when you were into politics and all of that? How do you make out time to relax?
It's difficult.
And when you say relax, you have to let us know the kind of relaxation, the type of relaxation, how you relax and all of that.
It's difficult. The only way to relax is to lie on your bed and read your books.
Is that what you call relaxation? Is that how you relax?
It's difficult to.
Do you go on vacation? Do you go somewhere? Do you take a break?
You have to be rich to go on vacation.
Oh my God.
It's rich man pastime. So where do you get the money to? Transport to which part of the world now? Even to UK, it's nearly $6,000. $6,000 is how much now? So
it's about you. It's about your mental health or state.
In Nigeria, I would say they have a mental health problem. I don't know where people got this from. Mental health. Like
so we have it. We don't just want to agree. We don't just want to accept the fact that yes.
Probably if you are brought up in the UK or the Western world, you will have mental health problem. In Nigeria, from the day you are born, you're already mentally. Nobody will tell you to balance your mental health because suffering starts as soon as you are born. The heat, lack of money for school, for feeding, lack of school fees, and that's not enough to stop mental health. It's all these children we deliver and we send them to UK. That, Dad, what's that? It's strange. When we are born, when I told my friends I've stopped eating eba, they say it's impossible. I said, why? I've stopped. You know why I said it's impossible? Because growing up, rice is Easter, Sunday, and Christmas. Chicken is Easter, Sunday, and Christmas. Eba is morning, afternoon, evening. You're laughing. Then you see you get mental health. What mental health is that?
Oh my God.
You shouldn't be thanking God that you have left Eba.
I'm sure you guys are enjoying this conversation.
You should be thanking God that you're no longer eating Eba 3 times a day now, and then you're complaining of mental health.
True. I agree with you.
Stay in your room, your mental health will go if you ever have one.
All right. So just a quick one. We're trying to round up. Now you're not into politics, right? You're not holding any political appointment right now. Do you have other businesses, side hustle?
I like the word side hustle.
Yeah.
If I don't have anything I'm doing, then I won't be able to feed my family. No matter how much industrious my wife is, she still will from time to time expect you to bring money for food.
True.
If you don't bring money for food, she may not ask you for money for food, but there are other things. Band A is there. She doesn't expect that she will ask her to pay the band A fees. Generator to run the generator, to pay. Even though our children have graduated, but I think we'll still pick their bills for now, because they present the picture of how bad it is out there.
Yeah.
So those are things a man must do. So you must start some level of.
Do you want to let us know some of the
No, nothing yet.
businesses, stuff like that?
It's not for the public.
Ah, okay. Okay. You went viral at some point
Now what?
with your kids singing. Would you want to take a musical career? You want to take music as a career?
Not my kids, my wife.
Your wife, yeah?
My son, the one at the middle, is a musician.
Oh, really?
He lives in Canada and is a musician in Canada. But that's not it. What you will see on social media, and people are harassing me left, right, and center, is what we do in our church every Sunday. It's called the Psalm for the Day. So the band you're seeing is is a choir in one of the churches, one of the Catholic churches. So they go around. Occasionally they come here. They expect that once you do that, you promote them. But instead of people to look at the band, oh, below something, you're more interested in looking at the
focusing on you. Yeah.
The focus is on me, when the focus should be on the young men and women who want to grow.
You're trying to promote
Yes.
them. Yeah.
So you've not told me I taking a career in music. No, I did that to see whether we can promote the young men and women. See whether you can invite them, you can assist them, and all that. It'd be great if you can assist them.
Okay, all right, that's a good one. We want to, you know that our creative industry is booming right now. There's no doubt about that.
It's the only part of the economy that's growing.
I agree with you. Yeah, you're right. So, what's your favorite music? Whether our boys are Nigerian boys?
It depends on who. Like now, if you ask me, when Flavor released Ababola, that was the.
Oh wow! You still, at least you know Flavor, you know Ababola, you still know. Oh, that means you are balling. You are
now. There's this music that featured Davido. What's the name now? Chris Brown's music with Davido. I'm trying to remember the name of the music. That's the current music that's ringing.
Me, I'm not even current.
So why do you ask a question you don't know about?
Yeah, because I want to know. We are learning from you. We want to know
if
you have any favorite.
Music by
okay, among them, so you still don't have favorite with all this.
No, I'm not mentioning the ones that.
Okay.
So you call them favorite. At the point they were released.
Okay, that you liked the particular
music. My favorite at that
point.
time. I told you there was a time Flavor was reigning the Ababola, and I liked it so much, and I could sing it, I could dance to it. Now is this music by Chris Brown that featured the video. In fact, I don't know the composition of the construction of the creativity. Let me put it that way. Why I say that is that it's essentially an Afro beat, and I thought it should be. I may be wrong. It should be the video featuring Chris Brown.
Okay.
But what is there is Chris Brown featuring the video. So it's essentially you see the Yoruba components that create the Yoruba artistic creation. They begin to wonder, but it's Chris Brown Yoruba.
Who is featuring who?
Exactly. Like I said, I may be wrong, because even though Chris Brown is not Yoruba, he could actually have written out Yoruba words, Yoruba.
Yeah, just to
mime or worked on it and could sing it and dance it, and then the video could help. But I don't know who is helping who. But that's currently one music that's going around Nigeria, and I like it.
So, but okay, are you going to tell us now that you like Nigerian music more than?
I just like music. Depends on which one. Yes, depends on which one.
And you made mention of something that you listen to it, you dance to it, and do you really dance? Are you a good dancer?
You know, there's a stage you can't go to nightclub. Let's go to nightclub.
That's a good one. That's interesting. And you're also a man with many names. You were turbaned in Katsina State.
Daura.
So what was your title?
That's a funny one. Why do you want to hear the title?
We just want to know.
Okay.
Because we all knew you were at some point
Danamana Daura.
Danamana of Daura.
That's the trusted one of Daura.
That's the meaning. The trusted one of Daura. Wow, great. Is that the only title you're holding, or you have some local, you have some other titles?
There's something like that in Port Harcourt and other, but you see, I'm not a man of title.
Yeah, but they gave it to you.
For me to accept
because
it, I had to go to speak. I had to go to speak to the president at that time, and all that. And I couldn't refuse or reject the offer by the emir. The emir is a prominent figure not only in Daura and Katsina State but in Nigeria. I found it difficult to say no to him, but I'm not particularly a man who is interested in titles. I believe that those titles, if you think I earned them, do it after I've left office.
Oh.
It's like when the University of Port Harcourt wanted to offer me a PhD, honorary causa, and I refused.
Why?
I told them until I leave office. Then I was governor. Since I left office today, has anybody come to offer you the PhD?
That's
exactly. So most people sing your praise while you're in office. Once you're out of office.
Do you drink alcohol?
I've never tasted alcohol in my life.
Why? Is it that you don't like it?
Yeah, because I'm not sugar tooth. I love sweet things.
Oh.
But now I'm trying to stop it too. So I've also recently stopped taking sugary drinks. There are two things: I've stopped sugar and I've stopped carbohydrates.
Oh, that's great. So do you love food? Do you love, are you the eating type?
I used to be the eating type. Now I've reduced it to 40%.
Any sports?
Of course, I do a lot of walking.
Walking?
I walk 21 kilometers every day.
21 kilometers every day? Every day of the week?
Every day.
That's great.
Apart from Sundays.
Showing on you.
Apart from Sundays.
You said tomorrow, next year, you'll be 60.
Next year.
I think it's part of it.
That keeps you alive.
Thank you so much for your time, Your Excellency. We just wanted just one word to our youth out there, to the public, to those that are watching you right now. What would be your advice? Right now, Nigeria is going through a lot, and our youths these days, their head is just like they just want to get that quick money. They just want to do anything to get that money, which was not there during your time. But right now, that's what is trending, is happening right now. So what would be your advice to them? And also, with your ladder of success, despite the fact that you said, okay, so what would be your advice to the general public and the youth most especially?
One, everybody needs to have the fear of God. If you have the fear of God, you will restrain yourself from doing quite a lot of things that the society presents before you. So let the youth first focus on the fear of God. God will take care of the rest once you fear Him and worship Him. But we're not saying worship Him in the manner some of these churches are doing these days, where they're collecting money and doing all sorts of things. I'm a Catholic, so I don't enjoy.
You believe in that?
I don't enjoy those things. Apart from the fear of God, you need to work hard. I sleep 3-4 hours a day.
Really?
That's because you need to read. How do you combine a first degree in law school certification, and a master's degree if you sleep 8 hours? Like my son will say. My son will say, Dad, you need 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
I said, because
you actually need it.
Because you're not making the money. If you're making the money, you won't sleep for 8 hours. You'll be worried.
Okay, so you're telling us that you're making the money now?
No, what I mean by making the money is...
Did you get that?
No, when I mean making the money, somebody paid his school fees. So I worry, why did I get the money to pay my son's school fees? So you begin to look for how to raise the money to pay his school fees. No, I didn't say wealth. I didn't say how I'm rich. I'm saying that I paid the school fees of my children, the 3 of them. And for Christ's sake, if you sleep 8 hours, you may not be able to pay their fees. So, how much, upon paying their fees, you need to maintain them, maintain your wife, run your business, run your politics and all that. If you sleep, you may not be able to do all that. So, maximum 4 hours. Doctor's prescription, 6 to 8 hours. So that's why nobody listens to me and says, oh, it's good to sleep for 4 hours. I'm not saying it's
okay, because that's what I wanted to say.
No, I'm not saying it's the best, but I'm saying
you be sleeping 4 hours. And
if your father is rich, why won't you sleep for 8 hours?
So you mean someone's father has to be very rich to be able to achieve that 8 hours sleep?
Don't you know? Let me tell you this joke. You will laugh. Now, if you go to church, there are two different songs that you will hear.
Okay.
Because the rich man is rich, he's afraid that tomorrow he can become poor.
The rich man?
Yes.
He's afraid that tomorrow he might become poor.
If he doesn't work hard. So when he's praising God, do you know the song he sings?
No, sir.
It shall be permanent.
You got me right.
The poor man never sings that in the church.
Oh my God. So what's the performance song?
Do something
new. I'm sure right now you have understood what I was saying. That so he's a very funny man.
What's funny about that? If you sleep,
it shall not be permanent.
After singing that in the church, you must actually go out and work hard.
Work hard. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your time, that you've given to us. The time is fast spent right now, and then we want to really commend you for everything you've done, both in the past and present, and we want to thank you for coming on the program, Beyond the Spotlight. And we do hope to have you again some other time on the program. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming too.
You're welcome. All right, viewers, I'm sure I told you, I promised that this episode, today's edition of the program, you can see I've been smiling, I've been laughing, and I'm sure you out there, you've been doing the same thing, or you're going to do the same thing, because I told you he's a funny man. I remain your host, Queen Obaseki. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.